our day? How was our day? Okay, this is how I'm going to ask it, right? So you're going to use either an emoji or you're going to use just one word to describe how you're feeling today, and there are no wrong answers. One word or an emoji to describe how you're feeling today. I want to see some responses in the chat. Awesome. I like Adam's agile dancing. Bless. Oh yeah, Esther. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? How are you feeling today? Great. Joy says great. Great again from Abiodun. Oh, I like the heart. Super. Oh, thank you, Innocencia. Topsy Tuvi. Awesome. Happy. Cool from Ruth. Love from Ayo. Yes. Empowered by Blueprint. Thank you, Mommy Ness. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. It's good to have you all on the call tonight. Tonight's session is extra special, as you know. PF will join us shortly, but the facilitator tonight is, on a whole new level. So I'm glad that you are all in and ready on time. With a few housekeeping, when you come in, just mute your mics so that we can, hear one another. Then get your notebooks. There'll be a lot of lessons today. It's not just one of those sessions where we come in and we just listen. We're going to take notes and we're going to implement the lessons. So if you're not ready yet, this is your time to grab your notebook, to grab a pen and come back into the room and shut down every distraction. Tonight is going to be a fantastic session. All right. So admin, please confirm for me, is facilitator in already? Admin, can you please confirm, is the facilitator in? All right.
Welcome.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. So it's my honor to introduce the facilitator for tonight's session. And of course, he's someone that needs no introduction, especially in the world of thought leadership, transformation, and purposeful living.
I need introduction. Oh, there are people who don't know me.
All right, I will go ahead and do the introduction. All right. All right. So Emeka Nobis is a voice of clarity and courage for individuals who carry powerful messages, but have been held back by doubt, fear, or confusion. After a decade as a mechanical engineer in the oil and gas industry, he made a bold transition, choosing to help others discover their voice, build meaningful platforms, and earn from their knowledge and expertise. He's highly sought after as a trainer for organizations, helping them build cultures of strong leadership, deep loyalty, and authentic communications. And he brings a depth and wisdom and a heart to every room that he enters. He's a TEDx speaker, a respected voice across radio, TV, and digital platforms. And tonight, he's here to pour into all of us as coaches and practitioners, equipping us to take our place as saviors. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Emeka Nobis. Sir, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Duak. I think my voice is loud and clear enough, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, basically, I'm in Nigeria, and sometimes the network is a little bit of an issue. So what I'm going to do is to turn off you've seen my face, so you know that I am a human being and I'm here to have conversations with you. So in order not to make the network to drag a whole lot, sorry, this is what we experience in this part of the world. So I'm going to turn off my camera now. So maybe when I'm done and we are doing the Q&A session in the next 30 minutes thereabouts, then I can bring my face back on the screen. Anyway, I'm a fine boy, so you can see. So thank you very much once again to have me here. All right, so I had this conversation with Praise. I think that was 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. I was supposed to do this session many weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago, thereabout. But I was caught up with the flight situation when we had issues with NIMET, stopping flights from Abuja. I was supposed to fly from Abuja back to Port Harcourt. and I couldn't make it. So I had to go by road. So by the time I got to Port Harcourt, it was already late and I couldn't hold the session. So, but I'm glad that I'm here now to have the session with you. And what Pris asked me to share on marketing, on how we can market ourselves in the family life sphere, to become voices that people have to pay attention to and to patronize what we offer and to have us work with them or coach them, whatever it is that we are doing within the family life. I'm not so good. I'm not so conversant with the different divisions in the family life. So if I make any mistake along the line, please do correct me. I know that family life inculcates a lot. Parenting, those who are into parenting, those who are into relationships, those who are into taking care of children, those who are into boys, and those who are taking care of girls. I mean, I know it's a whole lot. So, but then specifically what we are going to be talking about tonight is on how you can market yourself, promote yourself, basically, to be able to be out there in the world so that people can see you, people can pay attention to your voice, people can pay attention to your works and patronize you. So please, I'm also taking a look at the comment section. If there's something you want to say, you can drop a comment in the comment section, and then I can take cognizance of that. But I mean, sometimes I know this is Zoom. You'll be asking, can you hear me? Can you not hear me? That's one thing with the virtual life. So, but then if there's anything that is going wrong, please drop in the comment section so that I can know, right? Okay, so let me dive straight into it. And I know that you have, okay, thank you, IB, you can hear me loud and clear. So I know that you have heard about the word marketing, promotions, and I'm not going to do all the definitions that have to do with that, right? I'm not going to do all the definitions that come with that, but in basic terms, it means that we have to put our works out there so that people can know that we exist and they will patronize us. All right. So that's what basically that I'm going to be doing here. How do we put ourselves out there? How do we put our works out there so that people can know what we are about? People can know our messages, people can know our ideologies, people can know our art, our philosophy, our ideas, our techniques, our processes, our systems, so that they can patronize us and have us work with them. That's what I'm basically doing here tonight with us. All right. So I'll dive straight into it. The first point, I'm going to go from the ones that are not expensive, and then we will scale up to the ones that are expensive. All right. So we're going to look at the less expensive ways of putting ourselves out there, marketing and promoting our works, and then we'll now go to the ones that are pretty expensive. So that's how I'm going to do the gradation. Okay. So the first thing that I want to share is that I want you to pay attention to a woman. I don't know if Mommy Mo is part of this. I don't know how many of you have known, or how many of you know Modupe Hirim. We popularly call her Mommy Mo. She is in the relationship space. I think that's also within the family life, helping people who are about to get married to be able to prepare themselves and to understand what it takes to be able to function optimally within the marriage space, or within the marriage, right? I want you all to go and pay attention to what Mommy Mo is doing with her content. Mommy Mo, I think she has cracked the code for herself. I think she cracked the code last year around December, because she's also part of my community in Knowledge Money University. And she cracked the code in December, especially in the area of what she does. So I just need you to go and check out what she's doing. So now Mommy Mo, for every post that she's making, she does a flyer with the post. And the flyer is done uniquely for every post that she does. Her flyers are not out of her branding style, but for every post that she does, she accompanies it with a flyer, and then she does it. So three things that I've observed that Mommy Mo does with her content, which is something that you can take on and do for yourself. The posts come with a flyer, and then she teaches in the post, and her teachings are they're not exhaustive. Remember, a lot of individuals think about when we go and do content on social media and all the places where we have to load people with a lot of content that will make us come off as experts and make them to come to want to be with us. No, not necessarily. People have to consume your content and then come to you for implementation. So the content that you're putting out there on social media or online or whichever space is for individuals to see you and have a perception of you as an expert so that they can come to you for implementation. And it is coming to you for implementation that they have to pay for implementation. So when people go on social media and they want to give what they call it giving value, and they pour out everything, give out all the frameworks, give out all the steps, give out all the methodologies, you leave people with nothing, really. I mean, why would they not want to come to you? And that's the truth. Her name is Motube Ehirim. Motube Ehirim. Somebody's asking, Olivia is asking for her handle. Her name is Motube Ehirim. Somebody can get the link and put it, that will be fine. So what you are doing, okay, let me say for her posts, what she does basically is to do flyer, and then she teaches. And then the third thing she does with her posts is that she delves into the kinds of topics and conversations that other individuals don't really want to have. That's the thing. So Momimo delves into areas that people don't want to have conversations around. I mean, in this part of the world, we know, although we know that things are changing, but when I was younger, it was not common to see people have conversations concerning sex. But now we're having conversations about sex. It is no longer just hushed conversations, but people are open enough now to have conversations around sex and teenage pregnancies and all that we dealt with when I was growing up as a teenager. So when Mimo delves into those areas, so for you, there are areas within your own sphere where there are topics that people are shying away from having conversations around. I mean, today, something happened on social media today, Facebook. A priest, a Catholic priest that is based in South Korea, opened up today about the formation within the Catholic seminaries in Nigeria, and how. So somebody's not seeing. I'm not seeing you. You don't need to see me. Sorry, Victor. I removed my video, so just listen to my voice. All right. So he spoke up about the formations in the seminaries in Nigeria. My dear, you need to see that post. As at the time of coming on this timeline, I mean on this call with you, this session tonight, his post has had more than 600 shares. And I think looking at his timeline on social media, that should be the most shared post. If you go in the comment section, you find out that he has opened up the window for seminarians who had undergone such torture in those formations to come and vent and to talk about what they went through. Very tough conversations. I mean, who can be talking about the Catholic Church in the manner that a priest that has been ordained by the Catholic Church, in the manner that he's speaking about it now? So those tough conversations, and I like what he has done, because what he has done has opened up an avenue for a review by the formators in these seminaries, if they will actually think about it. I mean, we see these things even in our institutions. If you ask medical doctors who are undergoing trainings, ask them how the consultants treat them. They treat them like, I mean, it's appalling. Lawyers. So within the Catholic Church, it's expected that there has to be decorum, there has to be empathy, there has to be discipline, but not at the expense of traumatizing those who are supposed to be formed to become priests. So by virtue of what he has done today, the conversations, I believe, will be opened towards a review of how the formators deal with young individuals who have entered into the seminary who desire to be Catholic priests. So in your area, within the family life circle, what are those topics that people are shying away from having conversations. You will establish yourself a whole lot better if you decide today to begin to take a look at those topics and begin to offer your pristine thoughts, your philosophies or your ideologies around those areas that can help better the lives of individuals within the space where you're functioning. So I say again, for her content, go and take a look at what she's doing. She does flyers for every content that she's putting out there, and each of the flyer, just by taking a look at it, will give you at a glance the topic that she's talking about on the post. And then she teaches on the post. Tell as I said, she focuses mostly now on the areas that people are shying away from having conversations around. So that's the first thing I want to share with you. And as I'm sharing this with you now, I'm saying that this is something that is not expensive to do. If you don't have the money so much for flyers, I think that Mommy Mo has a team of designers that design flyers for her. But if you can't do that, Canva now, it's so beautiful to use. If you master it, take some time to study it and do some practice, you can develop and have beautiful flyers from Canva. But the flyers should be uniform. What I mean, you have a brand, maybe you have your brand color, you have your brand font, your representations. Somebody should be able to look at your flyer and say, yes, that is a Mecca Nobis on that flyer. That's a Mecca Nobis type of flyer. That is Oduak's kind of flyer. That is Oduak's representation. That makes people to instantly recognize who you are. But if today's flyer is green, tomorrow is red, next tomorrow is yellow, upper week it is brown, the other day is cockroach color, then people may not really identify who you are. I give a particular example. If you see the cap of the president anywhere right now, anywhere that you go, if you walk into any space and you see that cap anywhere, what will immediately come to your mind is Tinubu. So that's the kind of branding that we need to be able to do for ourselves, so that when someone instantly get cockroach red, yes, somebody looks at the flyer, the person can easily say, this is Oduak, this is Joyce, this is Omotola, and they can instantly recognize you. So that's number one. And it is cheap because every one of us here, we have access to our smartphones and we have access to the internet, we have access to the social media. All we are doing is to spend data to be able to put out this content. I'm pleased. This is the era of content. We can't shy away from it. If you want to be known, if you want to be influential, if you want to be seen as an expert, and if you want people to patronize you as a life coach or a family life practitioner, it is important for you to put out content out there. For me, every day I do content, every blessed day. Some individuals say, Mecca, you don't have any other job. Oh, well, that's your business. I have 2 companies that I run, but I still do content every blessed day. It's important, right? The second point that I want to share with you is showcasing yourself. A lot of individuals, I don't know, they shy away. I don't know whether it's about village people or they are shying away from their pastors or shying away from certain individuals within their circles. You've got to be able to show up and showcase yourself unapologetically. This is me, unashamedly. People know me and they call me that I do shameless marketing, because if I don't blow my vuvuzela, nobody can be able to blow it for me. It's when I take my vuvuzela and I start blowing it that oh, I like what this guy is doing. Let me also blow the trumpet for him. That's how human beings are, and they're designed by default. So when I'm talking about showcase, some people will say I am an introvert. Some people will say I'm an extrovert. Whichever that you are, the human being, the human spirit has the ability to learn and to practice and to become. So when you are saying to yourself now that you're an introvert, please understand that you can you can be different in the terms of showcase. This is my honest and simple word of advice. Showcase. And I use typical examples like Tony Lumelu. People will say, I don't have, how would I put it now? People will say that I don't have anything to showcase like Tony Lumelu does. But if you check your life, Every day that you wake up from morning till evening, there's something that you can put out there. You don't necessarily need to put yourself where you're flying in jets if you don't have a jet like Tony Lumelu does. But if you see Tony Lumelu, he's going for a meeting, he's showcasing. He is going to eat, he's showcasing. He's doing yoga, he's showcasing. He travels, he's showcasing. He is putting himself constantly in our faces to constantly remember and know that he's existing. This is how we ought to take our business. This is how we ought to take. I'm not saying, okay, if you're not giving to wanting to show what you're eating, I'm saying take that principle from him to be unashamed, to be unapologetic in showcasing to the world your awesomeness. That's what it is. That's what it is. Will people talk? Definitely, people will talk. But I know that as family life practitioners, you have been able to learn the art of silencing the critics, the art of not paying attention to people who unduly criticize stuff. You've got, because Nigerians will always talk. Nigerians, I mean, I'm sorry that I'm using, but people will always talk. Let me not just say Nigerians alone, but people will definitely talk. Some days ago, I was watching this guy because I watch a lot of individuals on social media. This Mbakara guy that does comedy. So I think he got for himself an Escalade. I can't remember the car, but a big car like that. You know, please give me a minute. Give me a second, please. Okay, so sorry about that. So I was watching him and he was putting out content, taking videos of the new car and talking about it. I mean, you needed to see in the comment section. Some individuals, oh, this is content, you borrowed the car, blah, 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 blah. And I love the way the guy doesn't really respond to those kind of individuals. And now he has gone from him. Today, I saw him making posts again about people who have been sending him money to fuel the car. Somebody sent him 100,000 naira. He screenshot the 100,000 naira and put it out on his timeline that a couple that he did content creation strategy with, sent him 100,000 naira. And I looked in the comment section and somebody said, how can somebody be sending you 100,000 naira for a Jeep like that? Can you imagine? The people should stop sending him 100,000 naira so that they won't spoil the car. You can imagine the way some individuals I don't know, sometimes you begin to wonder, do these guys dine with the devil every day that they're able to think such thoughts that are so decrepit in nature? So people will always talk. So today, if you showcase yourself that you are helping individuals in the family life, people will talk. Who is this one? But your own is to be unapologetic, unashamed, to be able to project your work. Pictures, videos, text content, by all means, as long as what you're sharing is going to be beneficial to someone else's life, it's important that you share. That's the second point. The third point I want to share with you with regards to video content. And if you look at right now, this is what is really happening right now in our space, because as things are happening with regards to promotion and marketing, you need to be able to change with the tide. If you check in our space now, you find out that a lot of individuals do videos that are like 1 minute long. They are short content that are easy to be consumed. You can put them on Reels. You can put them on YouTube Shorts. You can put them on WhatsApp status. You can put them, and people find it easy to consume and they move on with their lives. So imagine that you have decided to be putting out these short videos and you don't necessarily need to hire a videographer. Just put your phone on a phone stand and record yourself for 1 minute and put it out. Put it out. So I itemize for you here a strategy that you can utilize to be able to create very many short 1 minute videos that you can utilize for a long time. So this is it. You can decide to gather people in a space and do a teaching for, say, 3 hours, right? This is something that I have designed with some people who have approached me, and it has worked so marvelously for them. So you can decide to do a teaching of, say, 2 hours or 3 hours, right? Find a space that can take 10 individuals, Why I'm saying this, if you look at some of the guys who are releasing gospel songs these days, you find out that most of these gospel artists, what they do now is that they have their own spaces. They have their own tiny spaces that can take 50, 100 individuals, and they record whatever it is they record within there, and people are dancing. Those individuals are part of the team, and then they can record and they put out those records on YouTube, and they're having lots and lots of views. So for us in this space, because we are in the learning space and the education space, you can get a small room that can take 10 individuals, right? And properly package something that you're going to teach for 2 hours or 3 hours, as the case may be. Then have different clothes, right? You can have like 10 different kinds of clothes that they're going to wear all through the session. You can decide to sit down. You can decide to stand up, whichever that you like. And then you have the guys who are recording you. Most especially, they can use a smartphone like iPhones, or if you can afford a camera, a DSLR camera, that's fine. So let's say, for example, I am doing this session now with you guys, and I'm doing the session also utilizing this strategy. So I have like 10, 15 individuals within the space, and I'm teaching them 10 ways that they can promote themselves. So I break down the 10 ways into sessions, into short sessions of say 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And for each of those sessions, I'm wearing something different. So for session 1, I wear a white shirt. For session 2, I wear a yellow shirt, whichever, traditional suit, whatever it is. And I spend the 2 hours teaching. What then happens is that after we are done recording, that recorded clip of 3 hours can be broken down into 60 or even 80 different short clips by your recording team. You can use a smartphone like an iPhone, or they can use a normal recording camera, right? Those short pieces of content, I know you must have seen them. People who sit down. The essence of doing this live is the fact that there are certain things that will be flowing from your spirit and from your heart when you are sitting down and you're having those conversations live and you're teaching live. And so they will sit at the back, they'll stand at the back, and then they can record you as you're teaching, right? And then that recording can be broken down into 60 or 120 different pieces of 1-minute videos that you can utilize for the next 4 months to 6 months as content. Trust me, by doing this regularly, you see that individuals will keep sharing and you will become the talk of the town. This is the strategy that people like Apostle Selman. These are strategies like the pastors, the one that is in Abuja that has First of Light. If you can remind me his name, Femi Lazarus. Exactly. This is the strategy that many of them used to blow up in our faces, and you can see now that many other pastors are copying the same strategy. I don't know if I can use the word copying, but I'm seeing many of them utilizing the same strategy now. 1 minute that are taken from the sermons that they delivered in church, and they are broken down into short pieces of content. And the beautiful thing about this is the fact that when the team, when they sit down to analyze all the videos, they will find those areas where you shared something that was very powerful. And please give me a second. Let me turn off this thing. Power went off and came back, so the thing was beeping. I needed to put it off. So by the time they look at the 2-hour content you've created, there are certain places that you shared something punchy. They will crop those places out, and then they'll put them into very powerful clips that when people listen, they're like, wow, this is the strategy they utilize to blow up in our faces. And those of us who are in the knowledge space, the way we are, right, in the family life sphere, can utilize the same strategies to be able to blow up in people's faces. So you can. And then one of the things that I've learned to do is asking individuals to share. We should not be ashamed to ask people to share. So this is something I came up for myself. The short videos, when I put out the short videos on YouTube, on my Facebook, for example, or I put it on my WhatsApp status, I will take that same short clip and I will go and save it in a drive, in a, say Google Drive, whichever drive. And then when people say that they love the content, you can tell them that there are other pieces of content that are like that they can also share to other individuals. And then you put the link, all right? You put the link in the comment section. They can click that link and then enter into the folder, and they can see other videos that are there. They can download short 1 minute clips that you put there that they can download, and then they can put them on their status. That is how you blow up in people's faces. It's a very powerful strategy. So I don't know if if you go through Facebook and you see individuals, oh, can I have this video? Can I have this video? Because we don't really have good apps that people can download videos directly from Facebook, this is what you can do to help them. So you put the clip on your Google Drive, extract the link, and anybody that asks for the video, you put the link for them there, they download it, and then they can share it anywhere. But make sure that your branding elements are on the video so that the people can remember that it is you, because people can easily claim it and then nobody knows that it is your brand. So you can put your logo. For me, every video of mine that I do always ends with Emeka Nobis and my website at the end of the video, so that people can understand that that's your brand, and then they can look forward to having those kinds of videos in the future, right? So that's one strategy I wanted to share with you with regards to video, right? Video content. And please, if you are thinking that it has to be all perfect, your house has to have all the lightings, no, you can do whatever it is that you want to do outside of your house. You can go to a hotel that is around. You can make your house beautiful it doesn't necessarily need to be very perfect, just your ability. There's a guy that I know now, what he does, I think he has a 2-bedroom apartment, because I've seen him go through that apartment before. So what he does is that he just puts his phone stand. He painted one side of one of the rooms, and then all he does is that he opens the door, comes out, and stands in front of a camera, and nobody sees every other part of the house except that particular portion that he wants to show. And he will even understand that there's not so many things inside of the house, because I always see his videos with echo. And this guy is getting 381,000 views on his videos. I took time to look through his videos, 120,000 views, 300,000 views, just like that. He just walks in front of the camera and he's just talking and sharing. That is what we can do for ourselves. And I say again, this is the era. We can't run away from it. We can't run away from putting our faces out there. You just have to learn how to put your face out there. You have to learn how to use your voice. You have to allow people to see your face. That is the truth. That's how they can become enamored by what you do, how they can fall in love with your craft, and then they want to work with you in the areas of their lives, right? The next point I want to share with you is conversations. This is just a given. Anywhere you find yourself, find ways of doing conversations. And let me show you something. I have a folder. Okay, I don't know where it is. I have a folder that I go around with to have everywhere I'm going. Sometimes I go out with the folder. Let me put on my camera. Yeah, so this is my folder that I usually move around with it, and at the bottom of it, you see the dawn. This is something that exemplifies what Emeka Nobis is all about. Inside of my folder, I have my flyers for my Knowledge Money University. These are my flyers. See, they are my flyers. So when I go to certain places, and these flyers are specifically for women. These flyers were designed specifically for women, not for men. So anywhere that I go and I'm having conversations, there's a way I can turn around the conversation to begin to making the people in there to begin to pay attention to me. It could be the way they are talking about the economy. I can now say, okay, yeah, that's true. But do you know that there are other means that we actually make money? I mean, for example, look at what you're doing right now. You're doing amazing. I've been here for a while, and I can see the way you're talking. I can see the way, before you know it, I've already entered into the individual, and I'm already presenting to the woman my flyer, and by saying, oh, this is something that can help you, for you to be able to know how you can package all these things that are inside of you, and the world can accept it, and then you can make money from it. This is how I have conversations. So we should not shy away from having conversations when we are in church, conversations when we are at parties. I do conversations Why people call me that I'm shameless and I do shameless marketing. I have sold books in a wedding reception. So people are going for wedding. Let me tell you how I did it. That very day, it was my friend. I hardly really go to weddings, but that day the guy invited me, and I knew that my classmates from back in the days were going to attend that wedding. So what did I do? I packed 30 copies of my books in my bag, and I went to the wedding, and I sat down there at the table. Thankfully, those of my colleagues, or sorry, those of my classmates from back in the days, we were all sitting at that table, and every one of them, oh, what do they do now? How far now? And everybody, oh, now I work in Shell. Oh, I work in Chevron. Because many of us studied engineering. What I do? And I said to them, I've written books. In fact, I've written 11 books. In fact, I came with some of the copies of the books here. Before they knew it, I reached into my bag and I brought out the copies of the books and I placed them on the table in front of every one of them. Hey, Emeka, how much is it? I told them how much it is. And before I left there, I went away with an empty bag and I got money in return. I think that time I was selling my book for 5,000 or so. So imagine there were not many, 30 copies by 150,000 naira, and I sprayed small money there to the groom and bride, and then I went home. And my books have gone home with those individuals. That is how I do my shameless stuff. So people will be thinking, that is me for you. So you've got to be able to have conversations, right? Wherever you find yourself. I teach my staff this thing. If they go for conferences, they are going for village meetings, wherever it is that they are going to, they have to learn, they've learned the art of having conversations surrounding the things that we do as a brand in the office. It's critically important. I remember when Wendy Ologe, I'm going to talk about her also during this conversation. Wendy Ologe, we were together in Lagos one time. We were invited to speak at an event. I think it was Social Media Week one time. I can't remember the exact year. So the guy that invited us put us in a three-bedroom apartment. So Wendy had one room, I had one room, and then the guy had one room. So I remember that evening, we just came. I flew in from Port Harcourt, Wendy flew in from Abuja. And then somebody came to visit her in the apartment. And then we were in the parlor, watching TV, and this lady visited. I saw how they were having conversations. Before we knew it, Wendy had a way of steering the conversation towards parenting and kids. And then this particular woman began to share her pains about her kids. Wendy had to go into her room and brought out all the copies of books that she had and sold to the woman right there and then. Because the woman had a problem, she had a conversation. She was able to sell to the woman right there. That was promotion and marketing, and it worked. So you should not be ashamed of you being a family life practitioner. Everywhere you go, you have a message of salvation, because what you are doing is saving the lives and the souls of people. I use Praise for Who as an example, based on his work that he used to do in Ajegunle back in the days. That was salvation, salvaging the souls of young people from prostitution, from alcoholism, from a lot of vices that would have consumed their lives. So that's the same thing that you were doing. We are the messengers that are saving the lives of individuals from destruction and from doom. Think about it that way. The next point I want to share with you is, pitches. This is where somebody like Praise for Who does amazing stuff. I'm not good at that, but I just wanted to share the point with you. People who pitch to organizations and to have organizations call them in to want to work with them. Right now it's even happening. Things that we never knew that were going to happen. Organizations now are getting therapists on board. They are getting some occasional, they call it the occupational hazard practitioners, getting them on board to work with staff in the office, a whole lot. Mental health experts are now working in certain organizations to help with the mental health of the members of staff. I feel like the same thing can happen within the family life sphere, because if we come from dysfunctional homes, we will carry that dysfunction into our workplaces. That's the absolute truth. Dysfunctional individuals, workplace counseling, yes. I don't know. So if we come from dysfunctional homes, we are going to carry that dysfunction into the workplaces. So if family life people can come in from the point of view that we can help your staff to be able to have functional homes so that they can function optimally at work. I don't know how you're going to do all that, but I think that is something that we need to start to think about. That is something. So pitching to organizations to help them to deal with certain abnormalities that are happening in the lives of individuals who are working for them in that place. I don't know if time will not permit us to be able to go through the technicality of doing pitches and creating pitches and all that, but that's what it is. That's the point. The next point I want to share with you is public speaking. Public speaking. I don't know how many of us, if you can put in the comment section, how many of us now do public speaking? I'd like to see the comment in the comment section. How many of us do public speaking? Before I go ahead to share the strategy that I utilize right now. All right. How many of us, if you do public speaking, just type yes. You have been invited to speak at different events. Okay, Onyekachi, I do. All right. Yes. Fantastic. So now a lot of us are doing public speaking. Very beautiful. I do in my church. Good. If you're not yet doing public speaking, you can type no in the comment section. Let me know. If you have been invited, if not been invited, people don't invite you to come do public speaking. So I'm going to share with you, no, okay, no, Christopher Damilola, no. Public speaking, okay, Edmond, no. Latifa, no. Public speaking is a very powerful way to put yourself and your brand out there in the faces of people. Public speaking, I can tell you. So 2 things that I will share with you when it has to do with public speaking. For me right now, Emeka Nubis, I charge 2.5 million naira for 45 minutes to speak at events. The truth is that not many individuals, and I know there are so many individuals who charge a lot more. There are individuals I've met who charge 4.5 million. There are those who I've met who charge 7.5 million to teach for 45 minutes. So I will be very realistic to tell you that many individuals who have reached out to me to say, Emeka, we want you to speak at our event, cannot afford 2.5 million. Guess what I do? Because I have books that I've written, I will tell them, I usually give them when people call me to come to speak at events, I tell them to send an email. They send an email that my PA will respond to. So my PA, we have 2 options that we give to them. The options of them, they will take care of my feeding, take care of my flights, take care of my accommodation, take care of my speaking fees of 2.5 million. Then we give them another one. We now tell them, if you're not able to afford 2.5 million to have Emeka speak at your event, this is what you can do. You can buy 100 copies of Emeka Nubis's book at so and so price. So my books cost from 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira. So we give them the price list and give them the number of copies of the books and give them the prices of the books and the titles of the books that I have. Buy 100 copies. Obviously, the 100 copies, if they're going to buy it, it's going to be less. They're usually less than 2.5 million. And then distribute. So what that does is the fact, and then the other things we tell them, we now tell them that if you take option B of buying books, you are going to give Emeka Nubis, after his speech on the stage, you are going to give him another 5 minutes to climb on the stage and talk about Knowledge Money University. So what then happens is that the people who accept the option B, they now buy my books. They will distribute the books to those who have attended the event. I will speak, and then they will give me another time to talk about Knowledge Money University. And then they give me another chance to share my flyers to all the participants inside that hall. That is one way that I project my brand. So that is one thing that you can do for yourself in public speaking, to be able to project yourself when yourself and your work, when you are given the opportunity to be on that stage. So this is how I do it. So when they accept the option B, we go with our flyers. I usually go with my assistants. We go there and they make sure that they hand the flyers over to everybody inside of the hall before I climb to speak, because I will always make reference to the flyers that they have in their hands. As I showed you, this kind of flyer that I have with me, that's what we usually share at those events. As I said, this is for women. Let me put it on flight again. So you can design stuff like this is a flyer that I usually see how it is, and it is folded like this, right? And then we hand it over, and then different kinds of women who are attending the event will see themselves and their careers here. And then when I'm speaking, I tell them to take a look at the flyer and what we have to offer them. I mean, I'm not making it I'm not saying that every of my speeches I'm telling them to look at the flyer, but there's a way. You have to be very, how do we put it? You have to be very, I'm trying to find the right word. Not that you become repetitive, and it's not a place for you to keep marketing your stuff while you're on stage. You're there to speak, but you have to do it in a way that is subtle, so that they don't always think that you're coming there to preach all the time. And then, I mean, it's easier because at the back they have something to scan, and it takes them directly to the website. And those who are interested will automatically make payment even before I step off the stage. So it's important that you speak. If you have not started speaking yet, please do these two things. Take your phone and you can craft a message to people who are on your phone and tell them, right? Bypass conscious resistance. Exactly, Lena. So you can take your phone and craft messages that you can send to contacts on your phone. You can tell them, hey, my name is, obviously they know your name because they're on your contact list. You can tell them, hey, I just became I don't know. You can, if you've just become qualified as a family life practitioner, you can say, I just became qualified as a family life practitioner in this area, right? And I'm looking for opportunities where I can help a lot of individuals achieve blah 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 in their areas. I'm reaching out to you because you're on my contact list, and I think that we are friends here. If you've got opportunities for me to speak on any stage, please do not fail to recommend me. I'm here to be a blessing to a lot of lives. Trust me, by the time you send this, you can craft it in whatever way you like. You can use ChatGPT. You can go to ChatGPT now and prompt it and say, I want to be able to send, I'm a family life practitioner and I want to be able to speak on different stages. I want you to craft me a 100-sentence text message that I can send to people on my list. Trust me, ChatGPT is going to help you. You just do it and then you edit it and then you send. We have sent it. You can send it again once every month. And trust me, people, as you keep sending that to the contacts in your list, right? They know that this is what you do, and then they can invite you. That's one way. Second way is that you can run ads. There's nothing wrong. Nigerians don't do this, basically. But I see a lot of foreigners do this. And I'm starting to do it. I'm now putting out money. I just finished designing a flyer, and I'm putting out money that I'm going to put out there as I run Facebook ads, right? And there's nothing wrong with you putting out your flyer and telling people what you do as a founder. I think Praise for Owe does this also. And putting out your flyer there and running ads to it so that individuals know that you can speak on stage and they can come to hire you. So by the time you've done several speaking engagements, for those of us who have done several speaking engagements, please, I need you to understand that this is a job of being very proactive and being very intentional about how you create the narrative. So if you have not been recording your speeches, right, please start doing so from your next speaking engagement. Now we have people that are smartphone photographers, smartphone videographers that can accompany you to your event. That is their job. Don't go and take your cousin who doesn't really know how to capture the right kinds of messages or the right kinds of the visuals, right? These smartphone guys, I have two of them in my office. When they go with me to events, they know how to capture the kinds of things that I'm saying. They know how to capture the sessions. They know how to capture the audience. And then you can put these different visuals that have captured at different events into a collage. All right? If you go to my timeline right now on Facebook, you will see a video of mine that is like a short documentary of less than 3 minutes that I pinned. I'm going to talk about that later, that I pinned at the top of my timeline, right? So if you've done several events, you take the different clips of this event and you put them together into a 2-minute clip that you can run ads with. And people will know that you speak at events, and then they will want you to come to speak at your own events. That's how you can put yourself or market yourself out there. It's important. The next point I want to share with you is I'm now talking about a documentary, right? This is what I do, and this is what I think that you can do for yourself also. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that Emeka, I usually like to share from my experiences and what I've done that has worked for me. If you go to my timeline on Facebook, you will see my pinned post that is there. That pinned post has a video that talks about, in a short space of 3 minutes, the things that Emeka Nobis is all about, what I do, how I started out, how I resigned from an oil servicing company, and what I'm doing right now, building Knowledge Money University and all that. Just a short documentary of sorts that I took time to create with a smartphone, an iPhone, and I pinned it to my post. So anybody that comes on Facebook, that's the first post that you see, that pinned post. Now, how do I, because if you go there, that particular post has the things that I do, and then it has my website. You'll realize that Facebook does not really like people to put out their websites. If you put your website on any post, you find out that Facebook has a way of reducing the reach because they don't want people to go away from Facebook. So what do I do to make that particular post reach out to a lot of individuals? I incentivize people. I don't know those who follow me on Facebook. You find out that some days I wake up and I say, I have a spare 5,000 naira now to give to someone who will creatively share my pin post. And what do I mean by creatively sharing my pin post? It's not this one that people go and share and they'll write, what do they even write? They'll write, thank me later, all those kind of things that they do. I don't want you to go and be writing on your post, thank me later. I will go in the comment section and I will deliberately tell you what it means to do a creative share. What it means is that you're going to talk about Emeka Nobis and what you think about my brand in that post that you're creating. You're not going to tell individuals that I have something that I offer to them. Tell them to go and visit the website and to follow the brand. That is creative sharing. My people, guess what? When I come out every day and I wake up and I say I have 5,000 naira to share, 5,000 naira spare, you'll be shocked at the number of shares that I get by virtue of saying I have just 5,000 naira. I have tried it with 5,000 naira. I've tried it with 10,000 naira. I've tried it with 50,000 naira. The next one I want to do now is 100,000 naira. Guess what? There are lots of individuals who will feel that 5,000 naira is too small. Okay. The day that I know that I will do the 100,000 naira, those individuals who have very good people following them will definitely share that post. And a day is coming when I'm going to put 1 million naira very soon. By the time I put that 1 million naira there, I know that individuals who have bigger platforms are going to talk about the brand because I know that they will have 1 million naira. There's something they can do with that 1 million naira. So incentivize people according to the level that you are per time. If it is $10 you want to give, if it is $20 you want to give, people will share the post, that pin post. And that way, they have put you in the faces of other individuals. If you go on let me check. If you go on one of my, because I have two Facebook timelines. For those who know me, Facebook locked my main account before, and after 1 year, they released it. So one of my posts, I have Emeka Nobis, and I have Emeka Joseph Nobis. If you go to Emeka Joseph Nobis, you find out that I have 206 shares of that pin post, and that video has been viewed 16,800 times. That's the number of views on the post. So you can imagine what I'm doing for myself and my brand to put myself out there a lot more in the faces of individuals. By next week now, I'm going to do the one of 50,000 naira. And trust me, this number of shares is going to climb to 500. That's what I know for sure. So incentivize individuals, right? Those who follow you on your social media and all that, incentivize. Please, Udrak, let me know. I'm just flowing. Let me know if it's time up, right? If it's time up, just let me know and just tell me, Emeka, shut up. It's time to go, right? So I'm just going to be sharing the things that I have here, right? So you have to, I don't know, just go to Emeka Nobis. If you are looking for how to create that documentary for yourself, go to Emeka Joseph Nobis. Just see my pin post. You can decide to watch it and see. You can now decide on how you can creatively do yours. You don't need to copy my own word to word, but you can creatively do yours and then pin it, all right? When you pin it, you create a post, you pin it, and then you can incentivize individuals, all right? Just tell individuals, I have 5,000 naira to spare for those who are creatively, and then you find individuals. So it's not about thank me later. You find individuals who are now taking their time to create very beautiful posts to share, and what you do starts to get into the faces of a lot of individuals, all right? The next one is automation system. So we have gone from, remember we were going from very less expensive methods to the expensive methods. We are now going towards the expensive methods, right? The next thing I want to share with you is an automation system that I use. And this happened to me as a result of what happened when Facebook locked me out, because majority of my finances come from Facebook. Majority of the monies that I make today come as a result of my activities on Facebook. So my profile at Emeka Nobis has grown to 144,000 followers. On the 2nd of May last year, Facebook locked my account. According to them, somebody was trying to hack me, I don't know, whatever, and then they locked the account. My brothers and sisters, that was how somehow my finances began to take a hit. That account was just opened 2 months ago. And so you can imagine what torture and torment that I went through as a result of the locking. So I now decided for myself after a few months to have an automated system that doesn't rely all the time on the Emeka Nobis posting. So now I have a software that I use. It's called Saleszo. So what happens is that I drive traffic to my website. When you go to emekanobis.com, towards the bottom part of you'll see where you put your name and your email. And when you do that, you find out that you start receiving emails from me. At the same time, you start receiving WhatsApp messages from me. Now, that's not working today because WhatsApp banned my current account, my current number that I'm using, and I'm reworking it. They've unbanned it, but I want to start to do something different to make it to make them not to ban it again. So, but then this is the strategy. I drive traffic to it. People go there, they put in their details, and then they start receiving messages, WhatsApp messages. So what then happens with what I do with the platform is that I now go at the back end and I put in series of messages that will be dropping every day or every 2 days or every 3 days that will keep nurturing individuals that have gone through the website into the funnel. So one of the messages will be for you to follow me on Facebook, because I don't know where you're coming from. When people do the sharing of my pin post, individuals will click. So I don't know where they're coming from. They're coming from different places. When I run ads, they're coming from different places. So one of the messages will be follow me on Facebook. Doing that increases my followership on Facebook, which gives me a social proof for people to want to hire me, to pay me to do influential marketing for them. This is one of the ways that I make money. I got a call 2 days ago. A new company is coming into Port Harcourt. I think they're into digital stuff, and they were looking for influencers in Port Harcourt. They reached out to someone, and the person called me and said, Emeka, I want to put your name on the list so that these individuals can pay you to do. And I said, by all means, go ahead. If it's anything digital, I'm all for it. So by increasing the number of my followers on Facebook, I have social proof. Somebody that has 500,000 followers on Facebook will have a higher social proof than someone that has 100,000, irrespective of the quality of the audience. And that is the truth. We call it vanity metric. And I have to work consistently on increasing my vanity metric, because one of the ways that helps me to make money. So some of those messages will be join my WhatsApp channel. The other one will be go and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. So you see that by spending, let's say, 100 Naira or 200 Naira to gain a lead that comes to my website, I've been able to utilize that same amount of money in several ways. So I'm increasing my followership, I'm increasing my subscriber base on YouTube, I'm increasing my subscriber base on my WhatsApp channel. And these are ways I can use these channels to be able to make money for myself and to put my work further out there in the faces of individuals. So that's something that you can do for yourself. If you want access to, I can send the message across to Praise Fowowe, to the link, and you can share with the community. And if you want to pay and get on it, that's fine. But this is one of the ways that I utilize to be able to. So imagine that just imagine that you have 50,000 followers that have gone through your WhatsApp, your funnel, and just with a click, you deliver messages to these 50,000 individuals. And let's say you just want to tell them to go and share your message on YouTube or anywhere. So imagine that just 1% of that number, because that's the percentage we usually use when it comes to marketing. Imagine that maybe 20% or 10% of that number eventually go to share your video on YouTube. That is increased visibility for your brand. Think about it from that perspective. All right. So that's the automation system that I use now, and it's something that can work for you. The next point is be bored. Be bored. Be boards still work. So in the city of Port Harcourt, in the year 2022, I decided I was going to be in the faces of individuals. So I went to the GRA part of Port Harcourt at the intersection between Market Square, Genesis, and Jevnik, and I hired 3 big billboards in that GRA. Guess what I did? I didn't put any other thing. I put my big face in front at the middle of the big board, I had 3 big billboards. My face was in the middle of that one, and then the other ones that were flanking the middle big billboard had a particular statement that I used was, if reading is boring, it is because you have not read a book written by Emeka Nobis. And then I put my number there. As simple as that. So if you're going to use billboard, you have to have, let me use the word, is there anything like braggadocious, whatever? Brag about it. The greatest parenting coach, the greatest family life therapist, whichever. Just use whatever you can brag about. I call myself the Don. People began to laugh at me. My colleagues, my classmates, they were like, Emeka, who you be? Who are you? But today, all of them now are calling me the Don. There's nobody now that laughs at me because over the years, I have kept saying to them that I am the Don and there's nothing that you can do about it. So I bragged on that billboard, right? Okay, 15 minutes. I bragged on that billboard and I bragged on that billboard. Guess what? I started getting calls from the big pastors in Port Harcourt. It couldn't have happened if I did not showcase myself. So you can. I spent money that year. I spent about 1.5 million or so to be able to hire those 3 big billboards. And it gave me the visibility and the promotion that I wanted in the city of Port Harcourt. And I'm looking forward to replicating that same thing again. I don't want to use that same place because I found out 1 month into putting my billboard there, somebody went and tore the thing, and then I had to spend money again to put them back. So I'm looking for a higher space now where I will be, and people cannot climb up there, and they're driving, they're seeing me. And guess what? In the city of Port Harcourt, New GRA is a place where you see a lot of the big people. So by being at that junction, those who are going to Market Square, they saw my billboard. Those who are walking into Genesis, they saw the billboard. Those who are going into Jevnik to go and eat, they saw the billboard. And so Emeka Nobis was in the faces of individuals. And that's one way that I was promoting myself. It's important. The next point I want to share with you is utilizing small conclaves. I don't know if you guys know who is Innocent Osa, but this is the strategy that Innocent Osa uses to get a lot of individuals to know about his works as an expert in neuro-linguistic programming. So he uses small conclaves that he calls push. I don't know how many of you know. If you know Innocent Osa, please, you can state that you know him in the comment section. But Innocent does what is called push. So he does push in several places, and people come and they have a taster experience of what his work as a neuro-linguistic expert is, neuro-linguistic programming expert, NLP practitioner. So in the space that you are excelling in the family life sphere, you can do the same things. It may not be 1,000 individuals. It could be 50 people. It could be 20 people. It could be 100, as much as you can carry. And then you become the sole speaker for the day and share experiences, and people get to know who you are. If you have books that you want to sell, you can sell during this. But the essence is the fact that you are now in the faces of a lot of individuals. And this is where I talk about Wendy. Wendy, when she started the intentional parenting, right? She began last year, she was in different cities. And I think she has continued. It's cost money, but then she was in different states. I think she went to UK, she went to US, and now people are beginning. I can't even for the life of me begin to think that when I was growing up, we never had anything about parenting. It was not taught in church. There was to see people gather and they're now telling them about parenting. It's not something that we could fathom when we were growing up. But now, look at the hundreds of people who are attending the Intentional Parenting Summit that Wendy does. So the same thing about you. If you are serious about that, she put up money to be able to visit those different cities, hired halls, some of those halls, 500. And I did it in the year 2022 with my partner, Nnamdi. We were in 7 different cities, including Ghana, spreading the knowledge, spreading the gospel that we embody as brands. So you can do the same thing for yourself. Remember, I said we went from the very simple and cheap strategies. Now we are dealing with the more expensive ones. The final one I want to share with you, I think I have to, is Facebook and Instagram ads. People of God, I want to share with you that if you're not spending some money to put yourself out there on Facebook and Instagram, try and do it. Praise for Always is a great example of using Facebook ads to grow whatever it is that is growing as a powerful brand. I see his Facebook ads, I see his Instagram ads. Either he's telling you to come and attend one free seminar. He's telling you he has a book that he's released that you can get for free. He's telling you there's a video that he has done that you can learn so and so. So spend some amount of money, even if it's 3,000 naira per day. 3,000 naira right now is the cheapest that you can spend on Facebook per day, because before it used to be 1,000 naira, but now 3,000 naira is the cheapest that you can spend. So if in a month, and if you want your video or your brand to be in the faces of people, you can bring out 90,000 naira and you can run Facebook ads for 30 days. It will do some work in putting yourself out there. I was in Abuja. People are serious in this nation. I was in Abuja and I sat down with a boy, not a boy, a young guy that spends 200,000 naira per day, 200,000 naira per day to advertise his work. I was shocked. I thought it was a joke until he pulled out his laptop, showed me the money he was spending, 200,000 naira per day to put out his work. So I'm saying if you can spend 3,000 naira to 5,000 naira per day to put your work out there, to be a great thing. I'm doing that for myself too, I think. Then finally is podcast. Podcast is everywhere right now, right? I am also building my own studio for podcast, but we can put out ourselves and ask individuals to bring us on their podcast so that we can come to share about the work that we are doing, right? A lot of things are going haywire. A lot of idiots are there on Facebook, and they're putting out lots of podcasts. I mean, if you remember what happened early this year, the podcast, they're no longer very popular now. The one that was by Nedu, I don't know, I can't remember, the Honest Bunch podcast. It was all over the place. A lot of individuals, coming, and a lot of controversies here and there. People were angry. People were saying all sorts of things. But the thing is that the good people are silent. That's the thing. A lot of us are complaining about the idiotic things that these idiots are doing, but then we are not doing it. We're not running our own podcast to change the lives of people, but we complain and we sit down and we keep complaining. So I'm setting up my own podcast today. I discussed with Praise for Owe. He just said to me, Emeka, media is expensive. I understand that. I mean, buying 3 cameras, setting up, because I want to preach the gospel of people making money from what they know. So podcast is something that you have to consider, right? Or for yourself, and getting invited to be on podcast where you can begin to share the work that you're doing within the family life space. I do hope that I've been a blessing to you tonight. Thank you very much. And I'm here to answer questions regarding all the things that I shared with you. Thank you very much, Uduak. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, Emeka. That was a powerful session as expected. Thank you so much for sharing from your wealth of knowledge and experience. And I'm particularly delighted that this was not just something that is just out there in the air. It's something that we can implement, because it actually even used Mommy Mo, who is one of us, as a classic example of how to push ourselves out there. Thank you so much for sharing. Please, if you have any questions, you can put your hand up, or you can put your question in the chat and we'll pick it up from there. Any questions for Emeka?
So I can put on my face now.
Yes, you can.
Okay, Joanne,
any questions? Anyone raising their hands? Okay, so we have a question here from Adelaja. If you've not started practicing at all, how do you begin? Okay, that is if you've not started practicing at all, how do you
So if
begin?
you've not started practicing at all, the beginning is to begin to practice. That's how I can answer this question, right? And so I remember when I finished as I did NLP under Innocent Osa, and then we did all the things about hypnotism and all that and all that. And then he said, for you to get better is for you to start out. You may fail in the process, but just start out. So I didn't want to go into hypnosis. That one I felt it was too big for me. So I started out with a little I knew at the time. I mean, the one I knew that I could start out with, which was using question-based therapy to help a lot of individuals at the time. So question-based, people come to me. I keep asking them questions back and forth to be able to get at the root of what they were dealing with. And I was getting results. So I can say that if you've not started practicing at all, if you say practice, are you talking in terms of your work as a family life or a family life coach? Or if you can, I think you should give me more context there so that I can understand what you're talking about in terms of beginning. But I feel like, beginning means to begin. It means to just start out little by little. To begin to do that work. All right. So if you're talking about beginning in all the things that I've shared, the easiest way for you to start to put yourself out there is to start to do the content as from tomorrow. So wake up, your WhatsApp is there, put it out on your WhatsApp status. Share what it is that you know. That's the easiest way to begin to put yourself out there. Take a principle, talk about the principle. Take an idea that you have in your head, talk about the idea. Take something that is something that is awful within the circle and talk about it. That's how you put yourself out there gradually. So you start creating content from your WhatsApp, and then you start to talk about, you start to now graduate into doing videos and all the other ones that I shared with you. I think that's the easiest way. So the easiest way is just create content, written content on your WhatsApp status. For me, every day that I wake up, I do WhatsApp status, I do Reels, I do YouTube Shorts for some time, some days. Then I do Facebook. In a day, I do like 4 or 5 posts in a day on Facebook. People will say, Emeka, you're not getting a job. But anyway, that's how but this is me. I just love to create and put out there. So a lot of individuals continue to read about me, and then I'm blowing up in a lot of people's faces. So that's how it is. So gradually you become more adept at creating other things. So that's my response.
Thank you for that. That is easy to implement. I see Adam Sajao. Can you unmute your mic and ask your question, please?
Thank you very much, sir. Really grateful for all you've shared with us. My question is just part of what you've already talked about now. But I would like to, when you were starting to give us talk about all this, you mentioned that you have like 2 companies, and at the same time you push out some content every day. So do you have some routine behind this, or how do you do it? We'd like to share about that.
Okay, so I have 2 companies. I run Knowledge Money University, and then I run Alpha Nobis Real Estate Company with my younger brother, right? So and then I am the CEO of another brand called Breadwave. Is a tech company, right? And so I can tell you for a fact the way that this has worked for me is because of the structure that I have in place. Structure in terms of the fact that the company runs, I don't need to be there all the time, right? Like the real estate company, I go there like once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks. But by virtue of the structure that we've put in place, all the managers are working. We have meetings consistently using virtual format, and then that's how the company is functioning. So that frees me to have time for myself to be able to do a lot of the content that I put out there, right? So this is what works for me. But then I tell individuals, it doesn't necessarily need to be like a Emeka Nobis to post 5 times a day. Once can be okay. You can start with once. You wake up in the morning, maybe before you get busy with the day, you do. Then there are some individuals who do what we call batch content. So batch content in the sense that on a Sunday when they are resting, on a Saturday when they have less work on their hands, they use batching tools. So Facebook has, if you're using Facebook, if you're using professional mode, you can be able to schedule your posts, right? So they take time on Sunday and then they schedule their posts for the week. That's the way that can clear your, I mean, to give you the chance to be able to create this content without too much pressure on you. And then when you've created the content, you need to realize that people are going to go there to comments, and they may need your explanation. They may need you to have conversations with them. So you just go in the comment section and you check. So for me now, because of how busy I've become, I don't respond to everybody's comment anymore. So if I see the one that is good, I just tap good. I tap love, or I tap, if there's anyone that wants me to answer a question, that's the one I will not come and put in the comment. Or somebody who takes time to read my post and then lends in some beautiful comment, I can now go and engage. All right, because the truth is that the more you become famous, the more you are out there, the more people will begin to need you. And somehow that affects your timing and your availability. So you cannot be there for everybody anymore, right? So this is what I utilize to be able to still make people know that I see them, because when people are commenting on my timeline and I'm not responding in a way, they may feel like, who's this guy? And I see a lot of the big comedians do this. When I see them post, like Basket Mount, when they post on their timeline on Instagram, I usually go in the comment section and I see that Basket Mount responds to like the first 20 or the first 30 comments, and that's it. So nobody will come and now say he's being too full of himself, without responding. I think that's an evidence there. So that's it. That works for me. Structured companies, right? And then for someone like me, I am not, if you don't find me at home, I'm in my office. When I'm done here, I'm going home. So many people say, Mecca, you're not social. It's fine. This is how I'm living my life. Maybe I will change. I don't know, but that's what it is. So it's basically how so you can try out batch creating. Maybe on a Saturday, you spend your time and schedule your posts so that you can have your time for the rest of the week. Or you can create on the spur of the moment. I like to create on the spur of the moment. I could be riding in a cab now and I'll see, okay. So I take it, boom, 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 boom. I've shared. And that's the content for me. And I move on to other things, right? So that's it. What do you suggest?
Thank you.
What do you suggest people
Go ahead.
do creative burnout or creative blocks? So we need to realize when people say creative burnout, we need to really realize what you've done to be able to have that burnout. Because when people say burnout, maybe my own burnout may be different from your own burnout. So I don't know exactly what the burnout is. I wish that you can talk, and maybe you can raise your hand to talk so that I can exactly understand your own creative burnout. But when it comes to creative block, I don't really, Emeka Nobis, I don't really experience creative block. What people call like my brain will just freeze and there's nothing inside coming out. It doesn't really, people will say, Emeka, you're too full of yourself when you say these things. And I'm like, that's me. Or people say, what do they even creative writer's block? Like my brain will just freeze down. I don't will see what to write. No, now. It has never really happened to me. I don't know, but this is just me. But individuals who come to me to tell me that this has happened to them, what I usually tell them, just give it a pause. Just let it be for a while, all right? Take a stroll, go out, do something that you want to do. I mean, we're all adults here. There are some times that my ideas have flown after sex. So if it's one that works for you, if you go and boom, 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 and then the thing starts flowing, by all means do it. Some individuals pray. Some individuals go and take a hot bath. Some individuals go and take a cold bath. So I just tell them, pause on it, right? And just let the idea be. Don't force it sometimes, because at that time that you're trying to force it, it may not really flow. So just allow yourself, give yourself a little while, and then you can come back. Then when it has to do with the burnout thing, I wish that you can say something, but I think burnout comes when people do a whole lot of things. I am for what I call living an essential life, the concept of essentialism, focusing on the things that are really essential. So for me to be able to embrace that concept, what I did was to take a look at my life, and I said to myself, all the things that I'm doing, which ones can I really cut out, and my life will not really experience a standstill or will begin to spin backwards. Some of us are in 5 different church committees that on Sunday, they now say God is loving them for being in those 5 different committees. Why wouldn't you have burnout? Burnout will come because by the time you need to rest again on Monday, it's just what it is. Or people are in different governing bodies, different. For me, when I go to certain events and they begin to read out how many governing bodies someone is involved in, I know they envy those people though, because I wonder how they, I wonder, I wonder how they function. Oh, this is me. Oh, so it's not even about church only. Even down to my parents will always call me and tell me, Meka, why don't you go to burial? Because I'm the first son. And Meka, I say, this burial that people want me to always be going. I should go to the burial of the one that concerns me and go to the burial of the one that doesn't concern me. How? Why? Why should I? Do you get? So it's to take a look at all the things in my life, what I'm doing per day. Take a very document it every day. What have you done? What this, and then you begin to find out places where you need to cut off a whole lot of things. That's how I'm able to live this very essential life, so to say. That's how I call it, the concept of essentialism. I mean, you may have encountered it before. So that's what can help us to overcome burnout. That's one strategy that I utilize to be able to calm down, understanding the times that I'm very stressed out, right? And then applying the things that I can do to be able to ease myself of the stress. It could be, I have this thing of going to take tea every day when I'm done. I have this thing when I'm done with work, I walk instead of me entering car and driving. I just walk and I breathe. And I mean, I feel my head becoming free, right? So I mean, there are so many other ways, but I don't really accept the ones where people go and drink something that is alcoholic and then they are now in another realm because they want to deal with so these are just the ways that I do the things that I do. And then we always advise people, when you know that you are experiencing burnout, there's nothing wrong with just applying the brakes and resting and then recharging yourself again. I remember one day Prince always said he slept for 8 hours in the day and then he woke up in the evening and he was feeling like a baby. And I love the post when he made that post. That's one way that you can deal with burnout, all right? In addition to checking all the things you're doing. And I mean, the world will not crumble if you don't show up to do certain things. Yes, we are preaching, promote, market. I mean, there are certain times that you just shut off and say, man, the world not go die. Everybody go do okay. And then you just be by yourself so that you can recharge and then be of greater optimal value to the humans that you're serving. So that's it. I think that's the last question. I don't know if anybody else has any question. I can see that my guy is here already.
Yes, he is. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for giving us tips, not just in how to present ourselves out there, but also how to regulate, how to pace ourselves. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we have a final question here.
I don't know. I asked plenty things that is it a woman or a man that she's dealing with? Okay, many ideas. Let me give you the feeling overwhelmed with many ideas. Let me tell you, because everything I do, I'm always sharing out of experience, right? So you know that I'm a writer, right? And I have written 11 books. Right now, I'm writing 7 books. There's something that authors like us experience when we are writing books. You are writing this book now. You're focused on writing this book. You're writing this book. Then you wake up the next day. The title of another book hits you. And you're like, man, this title is amazing. I need to start writing this now. You find out that you are now dispensing your energy, and the energy that you're supposed to use in finishing one book, you're not finishing one book. And now, so I came up with this. This is one big folder that I have. Look at it. It has many compartments inside. So what I do is that when an idea, and I still like Bishop David Oyedepo does not like to use iPad and all those things to preach till now. He likes to use his Bible and his written notes. This is the same thing with me. Even though Emeka Nobis likes all these tech devices, I like to still write down. So this is what I have. And this thing that you're seeing was given to me by one of my bosses when I was working in the oil servicing company, right? Contains some ideas that I've had for over 10 years, this book. So when they strike, there's the possibility of you wanting to deal with all those ideas at the same time, and time is going, you're spending energy, you have not really achieved one thing. So what I do is that when those ideas come, I'll go and put them here. Guess what? Over time, when I come back, I find out that the idea is not, they really make sense anymore. I trash the idea because really, it's no longer making sense to me. It's not something I can use to advance my life or advance the course of what I'm doing. So this is the strategy I'm utilizing, all right? When those ideas are coming, if you want to use tech, fine, but this is me, or this is what works for me. My head of staff in the office, I have spoken and spoken. She loves tech, so she has her smartphone and all sorts of apps that she always wants me to learn. But I've refused I like my old style of putting my ideas. This thing I can flip it out and throw it away. All right. So document and keep those ideas, and then start reviewing those ideas from time to time. You will find out that one idea you had like last year may not necessarily be needful anymore this year, and then you trash. But if the idea is very pervasive and is constantly hitting at you, then you know that this one, you can focus on it and begin. So I know that you say that you have many important ideas, but all of them may not be able to be executed at the same time. Another way could be if you now have an organization where people can execute those ideas on your behalf. All right. So thankfully now I'm building an organization. I used to be all by myself, but now I have 7 members of staff that are working for me. So when I come and I have idea now, boom, I take my idea and I throw it to one of them. Oh yeah, I gotta start working on that one. And then they're getting results as a result of being part of the organization. So for me, I can, in a nutshell, document those ideas, keep them, and review them from time to time. You find out that some of them may not be relevant anymore, that you trash them, or you start thinking of building an organization where you now have individuals that you can bounce those ideas off and let them work on those ideas and bring them to fruition. So that's what I can share. Yeah. So somebody is saying that for the book ideas, you have many book ideas. My dear, the book ideas are many. If you are really intentional about writing books, ideas will be hitting you left, right, and center. It happens to me. I can tell you for a fact that it really, really does happen to me. So, but that's one thing that I can tell you. I have so many unwritten books that I even fear that I may not be able to finish up before I leave this earth. But then God giving me the grace and time, the most that I can, put my energy to put out, I will do before God calls me home. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all you have shared. Thank you for the responses. We've learned a lot. And yes, I saw someone asking if there's a recording. Yes, there is a recording, so you can look at it later. And I have a lot of things I've written out here. I'm sure we all have as well. So please, we'll come back to this and we will implement. We won't just hear, we will implement and actually take our place as saviors. Pierre is laughing. All right, Pierre, over to you. Have something to share.
I just want to appreciate Emeka. Emeka is the bishop he's my bishop. He's my bishop. And he knows his honorarium is a bottle, is a crate of something. Thank you very much. I mean, Emeka is someone who, if you follow his teaching on sales and marketing, trust me, you will know. And that's why I had to literally drag him here. And he has never said no to me. Emeka, thank you very much for always honoring me. I don't take it for granted at all. I mean, Emeka is very busy. So when he says he's writing, I mean, and his writing is one of those, I don't get impressed by a lot of writers in Nigeria because I just think that many people are very shallow. Emeka is crazy with his writing. So he's one of those authors I love to read. So when I say to you, I love to read someone, that person must be very good. So when I want to, sometimes when I want to title a book, right, and I'm not comfortable, it's Emeka I go to. So say, Emeka, please help me enter that your holies of holies and come up with something. He will eventually send something to me. So thank you very much for all you do. Thanks for being part of our industry. We do this every month to mentor our people because we believe that family life professionals do a lot of work but many of them don't know how to sell themselves, and they've been lied to that freely have you received, freely give. But you didn't get training for free. So they need to learn how to make money. And thank you very much for all you've shared with us. God bless you, Emeka. I really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Please, can we go to the chat box and just say thank you to Emeka for obliging us and for sharing with us. We call him the Don. Yes, he's the Don. Okay, so everyone, thanks for joining us today. We hope to see you next month, same time next month. By next month, I'll be back in America, so I'll be shooting from America next month and we'll learn something new. For those of you who are new in here, if you are from any African country, I can see many of you. Our plan is to train 1,000 family life professionals across Africa this year. So we have another class starting in June. So quickly jump on it. We're doing SOAR tomorrow and next Saturday and Sunday. So you don't want to miss it for anything. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. If you have not done family system engineering certification, I don't know what certification program you are using. Really, I don't know what model you're using. So go sign up, use the link, and I hope to see you. Thank you, the Don.
Thank you very much, sir.
I want to be like you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. Bye.
Good night, everyone.